Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the first barpa from welcome to the first webinar from barpa in 2025. This is our first of many webinars that we have planning to do in this year. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you are going very well. It's a real pleasure to me to be here with you today. My name is Jeremson Nascimento, and I work in an engineer department at barpa as a telecommunications engineer technician. Today, I want to talk about something very important in digital security, but often forgotten, the physical layer or the physical infrastructure. While the cybersecurity spotlight typically falls on softwares, firewalls, and cloud systems, the truth is that many threats begin at the physical layer. As a company specialized in structured cabling, like fiber optics and copper and rack solutions, we at barpa see firsthand how physical components can become vulnerabilities or, when done right, can serve as the first line of defense. Well, here is how we will explore this topic today. First, we will talk why cybersecurity in ICT is so vital. Then we will define what exactly means cybersecurity in this context. We will see how IT and IT convergence create new efficiency, new benefits, but new risks too. We will see too the importance of adopting zero trust principles, not only in the logical level, but in physical access too. We will look some real cases of physical vulnerabilities, share best practices in infrastructure design, and talk about how intelligent monitoring, including AI, can detect early signs of trouble. At the end, we will talk about new rules like NIS2 and DORA. We will also show how barpa helps companies with telecommunication solutions to make networks stronger and safer from the beginning, from the start. And then we will have some time for any questions. For questions, I request to use the chat to do this. So let's get started. Why is cybersecurity critical in ICT infrastructure? When we talk about cybersecurity, the most people think about firewalls, about software and data encryption, for example. But in reality, the cybersecurity begins much earlier. It begins with infrastructure, cables, network ports, racks, patch panels, switches and access points too. All of these are part of attack surface. And if just one of them is poorly installed or exposed or undocumented, it can become a point of failure. A hacker or a criminal person don't always need to break up a firewalls or invade the complex protection systems. Sometimes, all they need is an activity port left open in a public hallway, in a meeting room, for example. That's why today we will look the cybersecurity from the ground. We will go beyond software and focus on the physical layer, the structured cabling, the segmentation, the labeling, the environment. Because cybersecurity or security does not start at the firewall. It starts at the physical layer. But what exactly do we mean by cybersecurity in ICT? The most definitions say it's the protection of systems, protection of networks, and data from attacks or unauthorized access. That's true, but in ICT environments, that's not enough. ICT infrastructure include the physical backbone. As I already said, cables, racks, connectors, patch panels, active device, everything that make digital communication possible. If that physical layer is weak or exposed, digital security is also weak. Think about an open port in a public room, or on a cable in a shared rack without label or without identification, or a switch installed without user and password in the console port without proper configuration. All of this can be exploited. Not only software, but the physical access, the physical infrastructure. And today, with PoE and IoT devices, PoE powering cameras, powering access points, sensors, and access control systems, everything physical endpoint becomes a potential digital entry point, a potential vulnerability in the network. That's why cybersecurity in ICT is about the protection both the digital and the physical layers together. IT plus OT. In the past, IT and OT were completely separate. IT worked with data, systems, and servers, while OT worked with factory machines, sensors, and control systems, physical access control systems. But today, these two words are converging. These two words are come together, are become one. Cameras, HVAC systems, lighting systems, alarms, all of this now run on IP networks. All of this device has an IP address. They are powered with PoE and managed by the same infrastructure as a traditional IT. This convergence brings clear benefits. Now we have more control, we have more automation, efficiency, more monitoring from the devices, but this increases the risk too. If one camera is compromised, it might provide access to the core network. If a building management system is poorly segmented, it could expose servers and data. Without proper segmentation, access control, and infrastructure planning, this convergence creates a large attack surface. And IT and OT come together is powerful, but only works if the base is secure. This convergence show us the need for a stronger control, not just software level, but the physically. And that's where we bring one of the most powerful approach in a modern cybersecurity, the zero trust model, but applied to the infrastructure too. The zero trust. The zero trust model is based on a simple idea. Never trust, always verify. In cybersecurity, it means no devices, no users, no connection, no one, and nothing is trusted by default, even inside of the network. But zero trust is not just about a digital authentication. It also applies to the physical infrastructure. We must not trust physical ports, exposed cables, or shared directs by default. We must verify them. We must control and monitor them. For example, unused ports must be disabled. Racks and cabinets must be locked by default. We must track who has physical access to the technical rooms and data centers. We must use VLANs and access control lists to limit lateral movement inside of the network. Zero trust means visibility and accountability at every layer. If someone can plug on a cable with being notified, our zero trust model is already broken. When we don't follow these rules, unfortunately, the results are not just theory, they are real. In the next part, we will show real examples where small physical problems cause big digital issues. Now that we understand how zero trust is important, how important it is, even for the physical layer, let's take a look at the most common risk that we face in ICT infrastructure. Many of these risks are very simple, but they can cause real and serious problems. For example, on a switch installed with no VLANs or ACLs, for example, or a network port open in a meeting room, in a public hallway, still active and uncontrolled, racks unlocked with multiple people accessing the same patch panel, cables without labels or identification. No one knows what they connect. IP cameras and PoE devices on the same networks that common users. For example, these are not complex cyber attacks. They are simple physical gaps that can cause big consequences. Most of this can be avoided with planning, with documentation, with discipline, because in security, it's the basics that make the big difference. These vulnerabilities often happen because there are no clear standards or bad documentation, or simple people think physical means safe. But as we will see, these ideas can cause real consequence. The real-world impact of physical vulnerabilities. Living from theory and DPT to reality, there are many incidents where weakness in physical infrastructure directly lead to serious digital consequences. For example, in some cases, open public network ports accessible in a meeting room, for example, were exploited to launch ransomware attacks. In another place, unsegmented switches left security camera exposed, allowing unauthorized access to sensitive video data. Even shared directs have caused unexpected downtime and service conflicts, affecting the reputation of companies too. These are not isolated situations. They show us a common problem. When the physical layer is underestimated, the entire security becomes fragile or weak. That's why good design and planning are so important. In the next part, we will see what good practices look like in ICT infrastructure. Security. Good practice in a security infrastructure. Security does not require complex systems. Often it begins with clarity and discipline in design and management of physical infrastructure. It starts with proper identification, clear and standardized identification, consistent, legible, locked racks with controlled access, to restrict physical access from people unauthorized, physical separation for critical service, instead of stacking everything together in the same place, in the one place, for example. Keep cabling organized and auditable. This is very important because it helps so much with troubleshooting, in maintenance, and makes work safer. Of course, we know that every project has only unique requirements. No two environments are the same. That's why at barpa, we focus not only on supply high-quality materials like structured cabling and fiber solutions, but also on working closely with clients to understand the real operational needs, from the small technical rooms to large-scale data centers. Our strength lies in helping design customized infrastructure solution that's aligned with performance, security, and compliance goals. In the next part, we will see some of these principles and talk about a logical segmentation, access management, and some practices to contain threats and limit lateral movement inside of the network. Logical separation using VLAN is critical. Building the foundation of physical organization, it's very important. Its segmentation is very critical, both logical and physical. Logical using VLAN ensure that devices and servers are grouped by purpose or sensitivity, which helps to contain threats in one segment. If one segment is compromised, they are not affected, they are not a segment, they are not a VLAN. Keeping things physically separate makes protection even stronger, especially in a high-risk environment or critical applications. Blocking inactive ports is another underestimated powerful. It prevents unauthorized devices from quickly joining the network. In parallel, access to infrastructure, both digital and physical, must be actively monitored and logged. Knowing who connected where and when is a core of principle of accountability. These practices are especially relevant in sectors where regulatory compliance is mandatory. And as network scale have a structured, well-documented approach becomes not just helpful, but very necessary. This leads us into a new frontier in infrastructure protection, where automation and intelligent systems play a growing role. Let's explore how artificial intelligence can contribute to secure the physical layer of our networks. Artificial intelligence is no longer reserved to data center or analytic platforms. It's entirely the physical layer of ICT infrastructure. With intelligent monitoring using AI, can detect unusual physical access attempts, anomalies in PoE consumption, um, or deviation in the behavior of switches and endpoints. It can be automate the alerts too, automatize alerts to network analysts. These capabilities allow us to move from the reactive troubleshooting to proactive threat detection. Integrating sensor and AI algorithm, we can receive alerts almost in real time when something is off, whether it's unauthorized device plugged in a switch or abnormal power from a security camera. These tools are especially valuable in a large-scale distributed environment where manual oversight becomes impractical. Solutions that offer traceability and context-aware alerts significantly reduce response and increase resilience. But technology alone is not enough. If the infrastructure itself is not designed to recover quickly from failures or from attacks, even the best monitoring won't prevent disruption. Let's now shift our focus to resilience and how to build infrastructure that's ready, not just reactivity. Building a resilient infrastructure. Disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is just not about the backup and servers. It also depends on the infrastructure that support them. If a fiber link fails or if a power is lost, can your network continue operate? Or can your team respond quickly? Redundancy, it's very important in this aspect, in this environment. Redundant cabling and power, or cabling and switches, for example. Organization is very critical too. Racks and connections with identification or labeling. Physical failover path test regularly. Offline documentation or documentation updated is very important in case of systems going down. And emergency access to the key infrastructure points. I have seen companies with backup fiber links, but they are unplugged or not configured or never tested. Disaster recovery only works with the physical layer is ready. If you can't find the fault, you cannot find fix in the time. So plan, document, and test, even possible. Now let's talk about NIS2, the new European Directive on Cybersecurity. NIS2, it applies to a wide range of sectors: energy, healthcare, uh, financial companies, transport, and digital security or digital infrastructure. The goal is clear, it's simple. Ensure that critical services are secure, resilient, and able to recover from cyber incidents. And yes, these include the physical ICT infrastructure. NIS2 requires documentation of network and access, requires segmentation between critical and non-critical systems and applications. It requires physical access control and risk management and incident response planning. It requires to continuous training and technical teams. If our infrastructure is not documented or is not secure, our organization may be not compliant with NIS2. And that comes with fines, audits, and reputational risks. Complies with NIS2 means thinking from the cable to the top device, to the cloud. DORA. Let's talk about DORA. DORA is another regulation from European Union. DORA means Digital Operational Resilience Act. It was take effect from beginning of this year, January of 2025. It applies to all financial institutions like banks, system payments, and also the ICT service providers, including network and cloud providers. The message is simple. Our servers must continue even during a major failure of cyber attack. That means redundancy of cabling and power, tested recovery plans, physical security of racks and equipments, third-party accountability include our supplier of infrastructure. DORA requires real-world testing, simulated fiber cuts or cable cuts, simulated power loss of company, and see the behavior of device, switch or router fails, and see if our systems recovering in the time. These include the physical layer too, not just software or data. If our cables are a mess or our failover never works, our compliance with DORA is a risk. It's a risk. With DORA, resilience starts from the ground, from the physical to the logical layer. At the barpa, we believe that infrastructure should not only be high performing, it must also be resilient by secure by design. That's why our product range focus on the security, traceability, and flexibility. From our modular racks to our fiber and copper cable solution, engineered for robustness and clarity, every detail is thought out to reduce risk and simplify maintenance. More than supply materials, we act as a partner, listening to each client's needs, understand the context of installation, and propose solutions that align with the operational and regulatory requirements. Our technical teams are constantly updating the knowledge, and we offer training and certification program to ensure that everyone is involved, from the installer to engineer. It's fully equipped to deploy security ICT systems. In other words, our mission is to help companies build ICT infrastructure that does not just support technology, but protects and keep connected beyond generations. Well, to conclude, I would like to leave you with 5 key takeaways. The first is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity starts the physical layer. It must begin at the physical layer. If the physical layer is weak, everything above it is a risk. The second key is separation or segmentation. Segmentation is not optional, they are essential. Third is the zero trust. Zero trust approach should be applied not only in the digital domain, but the physical access, the physical layer as well. Fourth, regulations like NIS2 and DORA require us to design with security and resilience in mind from the start, from the beginning. And finally, none of this is static. Continuous training, monitoring, and adaptation are the only way to stay ahead of evolving threats. At barpa, we are proud to support this mission by providing security infrastructure solutions and work side by side with partners who value resilience, clarity, and long-term reliability. Now, I thank you for attention. I'll invite you guys to do ask any question. Use chat for this. Use the session chat to make a question. Hmm? Foi antes do que eu esperava. Mas sim.
Hey guys, so thank you all for being here in the webinar, for your time. And please, if you have any questions, do it now on the chat so that Jarmison and myself can help you. And even if you don't have any questions now, afterwards you will be able to have, you have my contact, and you will have Jarmison's contact also to make that those questions if you have questions in afterwards. But yeah, we already have one question, so go ahead.
Well, we have plenty to do this. Rack with control access.
Yeah, so the answer yet, Patrick, is yes. We have plans to do that. Of course, it's not something simple,
No.
because it has to be the safest possible, and not, as you've seen through the whole webinar, it can't be just a simple thing. It has to be according to all of these standards and bullet points that we talked about, that Jarmison talked about. But yes, it's planned, but it's not a short-term thing, but it's not also something that we will only have in 20 or 30 years, of course. But it's planned for sure. So if you have any other questions, go ahead. Otherwise, send it afterwards through to our emails, or even call with a commercial representative of your area, which most of you are from Europe. But yeah, or with me directly as well, that because I can also help you. Otherwise, if no one else has questions, thank you very much for the time you spent investing in your knowledge and listening to us. And yeah, have a very good day, week.
Thank you very much for attention, for time, for coming.
And yeah,
thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. So see you guys around, and don't forget to contact us if you need anything at all. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, Miguel.